Hello, today is deployment day for my photo management app. In the past 2 weeks, I worked on a nice problem that would boost my skills in TypeScript, processing large amount of data, and AWS. Since it's 30th of November and my AWS credit is about to expire, uh, I'm right in deadline to do the deployment of my app. It's not in a perfect state. I still have some things to learn about concurrency with Lambda functions, but it's good enough to start processing some photos, to start understanding the architecture I've built, and to give it a run and consume the 300 euros, almost 300 euros that I have in credit in AWS. So first of all, let me do a test with my setup. This is the full screen camera. This is the overview of my desktop. I also set up a TV to watch the metrics while the deployment is in progress. And ooh, so looks like a glitch here with the phone. There's an actual TV where I'll stare at the metrics in the end. And let me get back to my Logitech camera. So let's do it. First, some overview of the problem definition. So I have a nice archive of photos in Google Photos, and I'm impressed with all the memories they send and all uh, the content they are creating about my life. But I wanted to see what part I can build myself of what they provide and at what cost. Maybe we will learn at uh, the end of this exercise how much does it cost to do a little part of what Google Photos is doing. So what I did was take out a list of all the photos. So Google provides a takeout options, and uh, it turned out to be quite large, around 28 files, each of 4 gigabytes. And I wanted to extract those photos, do some processing, detect some features like labels in the pictures and faces in the pictures to kind of simulate what Google Photos is doing. And in the end, store everything in AWS S3. So I would imagine that if the app would be complete, I could fully manage my own uh, library of photos. So now let's look a bit at the architecture because I want to give you an overview of what I built. So I kind of broke it in 4 problems. One would be the indexing module, the one that reads the files from the disks. Another part is the ingest module that receives the images and generates some unique ID for each image, and then delegates the rest of the processing for the photos to the processing model. This module will extract the feature from the images, and finally I need some storage, so everything would be persisted in S3, the image along with the features that were extracted. So at the start of the exercise, I had really big ambitions. I roughly have 52K of images stored in maybe 15 years since I'm taking digital photos, so all my adult life is there. The the goal was to batch 100 images per second. So I'm kind of off that goal. Uh, But for the sake of recording the experience, let's also see the app failing and see where the things are cracking and what kind of uh, errors I'm experiencing. So for now, in the Google test, I won't start it with the large number of files, but only with one file, one zip archive. In this test, I'll initiate the indexing module with the batch size of 20. So I saw that's already the point where it's starting to crack, and we will follow along with some error and monitoring of what's happening in the application. So I already have the ingest module started. This part will take a encoded image, decode it, and send it to S3, and then sends a processing event uh, to the last module that is built with serverless. This is already started, and the functions are deployed. Good. So now if I just start the application, I should see already some data being posted. So first batch, the second batch. Now going into the ingest module, no errors yet. So let's have a close look of what happens while the images gather. Okay, I already see some errors. So one part that is breaking is the processing event that I'm sending. So this starts to throw errors. There's a lambda function there. So to get more concrete, there's a producer code that once it's called, it will take a message and puts it in the queue. This is a part that breaks. But nevertheless, we have some processing happening. So if I go to the S3 bucket, in my photo archive, I already see some images and some face detections that happen here, and some labels. So the data is flowing, even though it happens to have some processing errors. Now let's also try to see what the lambdas for processing are doing. Okay, data is flowing and things are happening, but I also get a provision rate exceeded for the functions. So another part that I need to understand better is how to properly scale the detection in Amazon Recognition, because I also see these errors. So 20 is already too much for my systems. I saw that the nice threshold is 10. Let's also look at the TV. Oh, cool. So we already see some data in New Relic. That is coming in. So yeah, we could see the limits of the application I've built, and in the end I've managed to successfully process 1000 images. So yeah, let's ls And maybe we can also do a workout. Okay, so what about doing the no, and doesn't work. So now I can see that the files were there, and but it's not what I kind of expected from this. Good. Let's do a dry run again, but this time with a clean state. So I'm deleting everything. Wait a bit. Yeah, now that I got everything deleted, maybe we could also reason a bit about the costs. And that's an exercise I wanted to do to make sure I don't exceed my credit limits. So I have 269 $269 in credit. Yesterday I did some dry runs with a few images, so I see most of the cost is going here in the image processing part, and it's obvious since I'm using the AI tools for extracting those features from the images. So for 11K, I've spent around 13 euros. Let's round it to 20 euros. And judging by the fact that I have uh, 5 times more images, then I'm expecting this to cost around 100 euros for 50K images. Lambda invocations were not were still under the free tier, so I got some room there. Finally, once I store everything, there will be some cost incurred by the storage service. So everything, all the operations that I'll be doing on this part will incur some cost, and also the storage itself will incur some cost. Good. Now let's get back to the code. Reduce the batch size. I have a delay of 1 second between each batch, and let's restart it, but now with the full data. So I'm expecting this to run for around 5 hours, if I did the math correctly. Let's go and have a look at the TV. We should see some activity resuming at some point. And if I go back to CloudWatch, now I should have the confirmation that there are no errors, so all the processing is smooth. Good. This looks good. Let me bring also the New Relic monitoring. From the screen. Yeah, we have a nice throughput now. Looking at transactions, and as we expect, the external services that we are calling, it's the S3 bucket where I write the files, and the Lambda function that takes the event to process those files. Okay, still seeing some errors, so even 10 could be more than I can handle now. But nevertheless, I'll let it run for a while just to get some better intuition on what's happening. Here on the ingest module, I don't see any event errors, so at least the processing queue works fine. Let's see how many photos did we process now. Cool. 5,000 files. So if I divide that by 3, it's about 2,000 photos since I started. Okay, I'll wrap it up for now. See you at the end with the results.